In 2024, Tian turned 30. Last year, it was my turn, and we also celebrated our 5th wedding anniversary. But instead of celebrating with a party, we decided to celebrate on the road.
So we planned a 14-day overlanding trip from Patensie all the way to the Kruger National Park, spending 5 days in the Kruger before returning home.
We could have flown, rented a car, or done it the easy way. But even though you might spend more on fuel, you gain something that flights can't give you.
You see more, you stop more, and you experience more. So we packed up the Hilux, loaded our canopy, and turned the journey itself into an adventure.
Sometimes the best journeys start off in the most unexpected corners. Today, we're leaving the citrus-scented valleys of Patensie and heading straight into a fairy tale.
Our destination, Hogsback, a small magical village tucked away in the Amathole Mountains of the Eastern Cape.
The 323-kilometer drive takes about 5 hours, but it's worth every kilometer. The closer you get, the more it feels like you're driving into a fantasy novel. Mist, forest, mountains whispering secrets of another world.
We started responsibly, giving our Hilux a full check-over before the beginning of the trip. All the fluids were changed and inspected. We felt confident, but just before Grahamstown, we noticed a smoky smell and then a cloud of blue smoke trailing behind us.
We carefully limped our way to Hogsback and set up camp at Away with the Fairies, perched on a cliff, part Hobbiton, part dream.
After setting up camp, I crawled underneath the bakkie to investigate. The culprit, a gearbox drain plug that hadn't been tightened properly. Oil was dripping onto the hot exhaust and burning off, hence the smoky smell.
Tian tightened the plug, cleaned what we could, and we felt relieved to be back on track. Later that afternoon, we explored the Madonna and Child waterfall. The trail winds through ancient forest, ferns brushing your legs, sunlight dancing through the trees. And then, through the trees, you hear it first, a soft roar. Then, the waterfall reveals itself like a silver ribbon cascading down a mossy rock. Peaceful, powerful, and humbling. We couldn't end the day without a proper celebration, so we lit a fire, grilled the classic South African braai, and shared stories under a sky full of stars. The next morning, we packed up our camp and took one final drive through the main street of Hogsback. The main street isn't really a street at all. It's a quiet stretch of road, lined with art galleries, quirky cafes, handcrafted goods, and little garden nurseries. There's no rush here. No traffic lights, just mountain air and people who chose to live slowly. Hogsback is known for its waterfalls, hiking trails, and enchanted forest. The famous Amathole Trail starts right here. It's considered one of the toughest hikes in South Africa. You'll also find scenic viewpoints overlooking the valleys, horse riding trails through the forest, and waterfalls around almost every corner. It's the kind of place where you don't need an itinerary, you just wander.
The next stretch was 572 kilometers to Underberg. About 8 hours, unless you were in a 1985 Toyota Hilux, then you add 4 hours.
Underberg sits in the southern Drakensberg of KwaZulu-Natal, right at the foothills of one of South Africa's most dramatic mountain ranges. It's a small farming town, but it's also the gateway to adventure. But beyond that, it's known for fly fishing, dairy farms, rolling green hills, and some of the most beautiful mountain scenery in the country. Autumn trees lined the roads, but the gravel from Hogsback to Cathcart was the worst we've driven so far.
On that brutal stretch, I heard a strange sound coming from the driver's side front wheel. We stopped in Cathcart and I removed the wheel. The safety pin holding the brake pads in had rattled loose and the split pin was gone. With no spare, I had to improvise using some wire and roadside engineering. Wheel back on, temporary permanent fix in place, we hit the road again.
Unlike the mystical forest of Hogsback, Underberg feels wide open. Big skies, open farmland, crisp mountain air. It's quieter than you expect, but it comes with outdoor energy. Hikers, bikers, 4x4 enthusiasts, and adventurers all pass through here. From enchanted forests to open mountain plains, this trip was already showing us just how diverse South Africa really is.
About 20 kilometers from Queenstown, I noticed the gear shift becoming stiff.
We stopped in Queenstown, bought new transmission fluid, and changed it at a friend's workshop.
After replacing it properly, everything felt smooth again. Finally, we thought we were in the clear. Because of roadworks between Matitiele and Kokstad, we decided to take a gravel road leading to Swartberg and then en route to Underberg. Here we had to decide which gravel road was the worst, the one between Hogsback and Cathcart or this one. About 10 kilometers on this road, we realized it wasn't the one between Hogsback and Cathcart.
About 50 kilometers from Underberg, driving in the dark after spending lots of time in Queenstown, an owl flew straight into our path. We struck it with a passenger side headlight and indicator.
With the missing indicator and daylight gone, we booked Douglas Drift Cottages for the night, instead of pushing further to our planned campsite.
The next morning, we were greeted by a yellow Labrador called Marley. Yes, as in Marley and me.
We wanted to see if we could get a new headlamp and indicator before heading into Lesotho, so we had to wait for 8 a.m. for a spare shop. Unfortunately, no luck, so we had to push forward with only spare bulbs.
Most people know Underberg as the starting point for Sani Pass, the legendary mountain pass that climbs into Lesotho.
Stay tuned for the next episode of a majestic Sani Pass.